I journeyed to find out the unifying reason as to why someone would make big monies on properties. And it led me to this place, a school, one of the best in Singapore, or maybe just one of the most popular. Nanhua, Catholic High, Nanyang Primary, Aitong, and sitting right at the top, CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls' School. But why did I get there after connecting the dots? I've shared with you before in a previous episode that owners who had bought this place in the last peak cycle, many of them did not do too well. Sky Habitat exhibited a U-shape in terms of PSF, and some owners who bought at launch had to endure more than 10 years before they could see profits. I'll come back to this later, and I have a big surprise, so stay right to the very end. Because what I want to show you today is someone who was launched slightly after the peak cycle, and owners of that property generally did much better. The beautiful part about this comparison is that this project used for comparison is in Ang Mo Kio, which is fairly near Sky Habitat in Bishan. It was launched in January 2014 and sales actually sucked. If you see the headlines, lukewarm response. Half of the 120 units released were being booked only, and that's actually less than 10%. Catastrophic, correct? Bad condo. In fact, 2 years later, in April 2016, it was still selling. And the worst part, it was selling with discounts. So unpopular, gone case already, correct? And if you haven't seen the name yet, let me highlight it to you loud and clear. It's the Panorama. The Panorama was launched in 2014, and maybe that was when the peak cycle was starting to come down already. That's why the launch price of around 1,250, as you can see in the yellow line over here, reflected a slightly poorer sentiment. Sky Habitat again was launched at 1,600 to 1,800, and you'll hear about it again right to the very end. Many who bought the Panorama actually have made profitable sales. The top one, as you can see, made $774,000 with an annualized of 6.8% per annum. Fantastic, correct? When did he actually buy his unit? That was in 2016 at 1,209 PSF only. He sold very recently at 1,875, and take note again, that's not even the highest PSF clocked. The biggest gain, however, is this with 1.06 million profit. And when did he buy his unit? That was in November 2015, quite possibly from the developer, at only 1,176 PSF. Now you must imagine, at a period of time, the developer Wheelock must have been begging for the sale because they still have so much inventory left after the first launch in 2014. So if you compare Sky Habitat and the Panorama, you would see that launch price in 2014 for the Panorama on the right. But right now, PSF wise, the Panorama in Ang Mo Kio has even overtaken Sky Habitat in Bishan. This again is comparing 2-bedroom to 2-bedroom. Crazy, correct? What is the reason for that? And that's why I began digging at the selling points and saw this. CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls' School. It's right beside it literally. If you see a new launch, AMO Residences, they also use it as a selling point, and actually that's common sense. So I asked my wife, dear, is CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls' School a popular school or not? She gave a resounding super popular. To help you understand what is super popular, I have this balloting history. Phase 2A is for all girls. After 2 kilometers, you already need to ballot. Most schools, you can get it at this phase. Phase 2B is for volunteers. You also need to ballot because there are more applicants than vacancies, which means 26 volunteers literally did volunteer work for nothing and couldn't get their girl in. That's how crazily popular CHIJ St. Nicholas is. That again is from what I learned from her. I'm not a tiger mom. I don't know that much about primary school balloting, but as I can hear from her tone, I learned how popular a school can be. And that's why it dawned on me. Buy near a top primary school, sure to make money, correct? That has to be the reason as to why the Panorama has done so much better than Sky Habitat. You can literally walk to school if you own the Panorama and your girl is in CHIJ St. Nicholas. Demand from Singapore families, which is something I mentioned in previous discussion, and demand from HDB upgraders has to be the most reliable demand source right now, and they are definitely liking the Panorama. That explains why, correct, as to the premium of its 1,800 PSF, 1,700 at Sky Habitat Bishan. But sadly, that cannot be the reason to explain everything. Firstly, why did the Panorama sell so badly if indeed being near a top school is a guaranteed sure win? Then how about this reason? Why did Skyview, which is a condo right beside Sky Habitat, albeit 2 years younger, is selling now at 1,900 per square foot, even though they are not near St. Nicholas Girls? That is still higher than the Panorama. More than that, when I looked at older condos near Nanhua and Taonan, they also did not exhibit a clear premium that is sustainable. So the reason for making profits cannot be explained with just that, correct? Buy near a top primary school. That's why I had to go back to the drawing board. Is there a better way to explain how to make monies from properties? And maybe there are just so many reasons to do well, but let's highlight the most obvious one. The Panorama cut prices in 2014 to 2016. It sold at 1,250 all the way down to less than 1,200. Skyview was launched at 1,500 on average, and that's after being 2 years younger than Sky Habitat, which launched at 1,006 to 1,800. It had a premium and it had to eventually discount away that premium. Maybe there's some truth that the age of the flat matters, but more importantly this, the buying price matters. Take a look at this summary table. Someone in Sky Habitat lost $617,000 with an annualized 3.9% per annum loss. For my research, this is a high floor unit and everything looks good on paper. He bought this 3-bedroom at 1,804 PSF in May 2012, which was quite possibly the launch, and that was the top price. Then the moment Skyview launched 1.5 years later at 1,005 to 1,006 PSF, that number of 1,800 PSF suddenly looks inflated and crazy. Not just that, take note again, Sky Habitat is now 2 years older than Skyview, and for anyone who's neutral, they'll most likely prefer the newer than the older one. So speaking to here, buying Sky Habitat now is doomed, correct? Even though it's popular with Singaporeans and has some HDB upgraders like what I've shared in previous discussion, correct? We should just buy Skyview condo if we are happy to stay in Bishan. Or the Panorama because it's trending better also and it's only in Ang Mo Kio. Well, not necessarily true. This will surprise you. There are actually hugely profitable owners who had bought in Sky Habitat and exited with big gains. The red box over here is someone who bought in 2014 a 3-bedroom at only 1,330 PSF and he made $732,000 with an annualized 4.4% per annum gain. Take note again, the person who lost just now big actually bought a 3-bedroom at Sky Habitat at 1,800 at the launch. 1,330 versus 1,800, both 3 bedrooms. You realize what's going on? Your purchasing price matters a lot to the ROI. I would reckon that the person who bought this loss-making unit at 1,394 in October 2018 is actually sitting now on a gold mine and at least up $300,000. There's likely nothing wrong with the unit. And conversely, the person who had just bought at 1,932 PSF in December 2020 could be repeating the same mistake as the biggest loser because he has paid an inflated price. So all in all, it's not so much the project, it's more likely your purchasing price. Not many want to take the time to explain this, so do smash or subscribe. And if you appreciate the sharing and want to support content over here, check out the Super Tank stickers below. I do not have any property inventory to sell. I only have this Super Tank stickers to see if there's a fair value for the sharing done. So thank you again in advance. So coming to here, let's round things up nicely. The first key learning point is you must be patient for a good entry price on the resale market. Stop thinking about fast profits. That has some luck with it, and luck is not likely replicable and can even reverse. So identify a good property and wait for a good entry price. It is very likely the biggest determining factor to making monies on your properties. It's actually very similar to making monies on stocks. The second, don't FOMO on property launches. Don't have this fear of missing out. From my research so far, there are many instances already of people who have overpaid at launches, especially those on high floor ones, and they are usually the profile of those that have been burned the most. Okay, if you agree on that, smash the like button and share it with someone who should hear it. And last but not least, the third and also quite possibly the most important one is that when you buy properties, you must be able to hold. property prices are going up right now. We really don't know when is the peak. And peak is usually when everybody is optimistic and have very little fear that their purchase will result in losses. That's why I spend so much time to show you examples of losses. Most other places, you'll see a lot of hype on what to buy and how much monies can possibly be made. The ability to hold is your safest way to make profits, because even if you get your timing wrong, you won't need to face the situation of forced selling because you can't afford the property anymore. That is why I disagree with those who pitch sell your HDB to buy 2 condos, especially for those on marginal income, in the hopes to flip one of the properties and make big capital gains. Because the reality of losing a few $100,000 is also there. And if it happens, that person is in financial catastrophe. There's no YouTuber, no community, no property agent that will spend time to take pity when that situation has really happened. Buying BTO on hand is very different. 400,000-500,000 in terms of quantum, 2 people's name, there's MSR ratio limit. It's very unlikely to see a situation whereby someone is overstretched. But when you get to private properties, and especially buying 2, the quantum gets big. And that's why you need to know the difference, and the ability to hold again is very, very crucial. Thank you again for watching right to the very end. Check out the super thanks stickers and check out these previous tutorials that I've done on buying properties, especially those case studies with losses, and this one also on selling HDB and buying 2 condos. If you haven't seen any of them, follow on your learning in these, and I'll see you there too. Take care as always. Goodbye.